Would an employee-centered hiring base for colleges or universities be ideal within the hiring process? This is the idea of my project, and this is what we're going to explore. One of the first things we have to do is understand what the two systems that the project is based on, as how they work.
Boring.
The transfer portal started in 2017. Now, this doesn't mean that college athletes couldn't transfer out of a university if they were there. It's just when they transferred, they got penalized. And the way they got penalized was they had to sit out a year, and this used one of their redshirt years.
Inconceivable! You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
That's not fair to the college athlete, because the red shirt was reserved for if you didn't play a year at the university, if you didn't meet the playtime requirement, or if you got injured. It was a medical red shirt. By transferring, it ultimately used one of their red shirt years, and that means that they were getting penalized for transferring to another university. Now, if you're transferring, it's because you're moving somewhere because you don't exactly like the school that you're at. Maybe you got sold false ideas or something of that nature and wanted to transfer.
Man, this is some bullshit! Boo this man!
2017 rolls along, the transfer portal comes out, and it basically stops that. People can transfer where they want to, and they get to play the year after, not using their redshirt years. Then we get into name, image, and likeness. Now, this is the big one.
The money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money.
The transfer portal already shook up the athletic landscape going into 2017, all the way up until 2021. This is when NIL got introduced. Name, image, and likeness.
Tell them to bring me my money.
Before 2021, anything with a college athlete's name, image, or likeness being their jersey number, if the university sold something with that, the player wouldn't see any of those profits. It was illegal for athletes to get paid or receive anything from the university. So illegal to the point where the athlete, the parents, the brothers, the sisters, the girlfriends, the guardians could not receive any monetary or like school swag as influence to go and join that university. Now, in some states, we see NIL influence people as young as high schoolers, but majority of the time you're going to see NIL start at this level.
Let's it go.
Three-man rush. Mangum, all kinds of time. Steps into the throw, in the wind, down to the goal line, and caught! Touchdown, BYU!
Boykin throwing too tall. It was pulled in.
Hi. So, just a little editing note. I forgot to record this.
You suck.
So, before we get to interviews with professors, I actually interviewed some people on the street and asked them what their opinion about this idea was. And the findings that I got were pretty interesting. I'm not going to include the whole thing, but I'm going to include some of the main points.
I can see a benefit for someone who's interested in teaching college long term, like to get their foot in the door and to start, begin that process, and then it would be a way of them incentivizing themselves and working out as time goes along. So I think there's both aspects to it. I'd say it sounds similar to what public school teachers have, where they start off, they are low on the salary schedule, and then they keep working, year after year, and then it brings them up higher.
It's honestly very like, hey, I put in work, I put some research, like you mentioned before. A lot of professors, like the majority of their work is research. It's more than just teaching, and I think it would make sense in the sense of like, hey, I've done more research, therefore I think I deserve, because I put more years into it, more work into it, I deserve higher paid.
Those guys had some pretty amazing points. They understood the way that I explained it to them. Now, coming from my perspective, right? I was a college athlete. That's what that is back there. That's my golf shirt from my senior season at my university. So,
Oh, I got an extra futon.
Dude, you don't have to brag. We got nothing here.
I was playing college sports while the NIL and while the transfer portal were around. I never transferred. I stayed where I was, but I knew plenty of people who hit the transfer portal and they loved it. Majority of them felt like they were at the level that they were and they weren't being appreciated at the university that they were at. So they went to a university that they felt like could appreciate them and use their talents the way that they wanted to use them. I understand that aspect. Now, I never got to experience any NIL deal.
Well, that sucks.
I played Division III golf. D3 is not allowed to have NIL sponsorships. I believe that NIL is only for Division I. There might be some Division II schools that play up into Division I that allow that, but I was never involved in any NIL things going on. So I can't really speak too much on that, but I understand the premise of it. There are people that want to, they want to put their name and put their brand behind this person. For example, there's a kid that went to my high school. His name's Cam Coleman. If you don't know who he is, he did this.
Arnold loads it up down the field. Got his man.
Arnold again all day. Deep shot to the end zone. Got it! Cam Coleman!
I thoroughly believe while he was at Auburn, he got a bunch of NIL deals because he was and is a really good athlete. That is what allowed him to go play college at Auburn University and now play at Texas University, where he just signed like a $2 million NIL deal with Nike. I understand that. And not to discredit the answers that those guys gave me, because I see the potential in that. The one thing that worries me about that is I feel like right now in the athletic landscape, we have a separation, a division between big schools and small schools. And that is exactly what NIL did. NIL made it to where colleges who get a bunch of money from sales, student revenue, the whole 9 yards, they're able to front more of a percentage toward these athletes and separate themselves from the smaller schools like Auburn, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, Michigan, Ohio State, California. These schools make so much money that they can go buy these players, and it robs the potential of a school like Auburn University at Montgomery, Huntington, UAB, South Alabama. These chances of trying to procure some well-rounded athletes, because now rather than going and playing at a school that you actually want to go play for, it's all about the money. And I feel like doing that with college professors would do the same thing. It would separate the schools even further, and I feel like it would completely dismantle small universities to the point where smaller universities are essentially going to be the college athletics of the education world. Everybody that wants to go play professional sports, they do one of two things. They either go play college sports or they go play semi-professional league. And that just depends on what sport you're in. I feel like if you did the transfer portal thing, then that's what would ultimately end up happening. But there's one thing that would stop that people aren't thinking of, and it's your name is only in this portal if you are looking for a job. That's the whole idea behind it. It essentially creates more security for the university outside of the contract that they've signed. They know that if your name is not in the transfer portal looking for a job, that you're going to stick to where you are. So I see upsides and downsides to it, and I just needed to get more information. So with that being said, I am going to Auburn University in Montgomery to interview 3 professors with the goal in mind to get an answer as to my hypothetical question and see what professors think.
My name is Robert K. Perkins.
My name is Keith Krasinski.
My name is Jordan Dominy. I have been here at AUM as Assistant Professor of English.
I'm the Department Chair for Criminal Justice and Sociology here at AUM.
I'm a Professor of History at Auburn University at Montgomery.
I interviewed all 3 of them, and I asked them their opinions on what a employee-centered hiring base for college professors would be like, and I actually got very different answers. Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
It would definitely make it more competitive. I think we need more competitive in the academic arena, so I would definitely think that it would make sense and would be a good idea. I like the way you phrased it.
Yeah, I can kind of see how that works. I'd see some problems.
It might work. You would be fighting against tradition. And the tradition is the university puts out an announcement, and it's up to the employee, potential employee, to find those currently websites.
And no, this is terrible.
Yeah, I don't know that that's a good thing. I think that just opens up doors actually for universities to lowball people. It's going to create a lot more inequity in terms of the quality of faculty that universities can get, right? I mean, because universities that are flush with cash are going to get whoever they think is available. And that happens already to a certain extent anyway.
My basic consensus that I got from this entire thing was leave the hiring system the way it is. I mean, yeah, it'd be cool if somebody came out with a hiring base that was centered toward the employee rather than the employer, but it's been working the way that it has for so long. We just need to keep it the way that it is. The idea is cool, but there's a lot of problems that could arise. So let's just leave it the way that it is.
Oh, you're no fun anymore.
Now, for the part that I personally cared about, because again, I am searching for a job as a college professor. That is what I'm going to school for. They gave me a lot of insight to resources that you could use. There is the Chronicle of Higher Education. There's HNet. There's ACCS, which is Alabama Community College Society, and so many others that you could do that are center databases for everything school related at the university level for teaching. Now, you could have your doctorate and be ready to go, or you could be like me and have your master's with enough credit hours to teach whatever it is that you want to teach. But you don't have to do what ultimately I did and go to each individual university's website to send out applications. You can look at all of these different websites and find a central database for all of these job listings and apply to them, which is really what I wanted to get down to the bottom of in this entire project. And I got my answers. There are more websites that you can go to that I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but I will have all of them listed in the description of the video below, so that way you can go ahead and check it out. Anyway, if I didn't say it to anyone that I interviewed in the video, I just wanted to say thank you for interviewing with me and giving me your insight. I can't thank you enough for helping me get this project along. I want to thank Dr. Brackett at AUM for allowing me to do this type of submission for this project. I think it went really well overall, and I hope that this video ends up helping people out in the long run, even though a majority of the video is not focused on how to get your first job as a college professor. Ultimately, through this project, I was able to find out all of these great websites for people in Alabama to use. And if you're not in Alabama, really the only website that you can't use is ACCS, unless you want to move to Alabama. But there's more than likely a website that is there for whatever state that you're in, that all of the community colleges post to regularly, if it's not one of those websites like the Chronicle of Higher Education or HNet. So I would just check around and see if there's something like that. If not, the Chronicle of Higher Education, HNet, and all of the other websites listed below are really good tools to use to find your first job. Anyway, thank you again for interviewing with me, anyone who interviewed with me, and thank you for watching the video, and I hope it helped you out.